the story of Smile Dog. Some of you might have heard of it, and some of you might have not. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get scared from this video, you gotta subscribe and slap the bell. Over 70% of people watching this video have not subscribed. I'm not sure what's up with that, but if you don't want to see Smile Dog underneath your bed, subscribe. Woo!
In the beginning, Mary agreed.
So you can kind of tell it's like an evil demon dog.
That have seen the original picture until their final days.
What?
After the failed interview
insane.
with Mary, I decided to keep researching, but everything led me.
So
to
this
dead
researcher's
ends.
trying to figure this out,
A
and
year
Mary just
after,
can't
I
help.
received an email from Mary that got me totally by surprise.
Never mind, I spoke too soon.
I'm sorry about my behavior last summer. See,
Interesting.
I've had nightmares about a smile.
What if all
dog
along she
every
has the
night for
picture,
15
and she's
years.
trying to trick everybody to seeing
I
it?
know this might.
It's her evil plan.
sound
The dude, he burnt the entire floppy disk. It's gone. It's over. You'll never see it again. I'm not really sure exactly how she died so quickly after that message, so there could be someone after it. We have no idea.
I received another email.
Another
Hi,
email.
I found your emails in forums about the Smile Dog. I saw it, and it's not as bad as people say. Here's a copy. The email came with a document attached.
Yo!
Of course, named smile.jpg. I thought about that.
Yo! Someone just straight up sent her a picture of it. That's
It was
terrifying.
probably a dog. I could use the picture as evidence. Anybody who saw the video could see the forbidden picture.
Dude.
But assuming the picture is authentic, was I really gonna risk all those lives only to save myself?
Alright, so he was thinking of sharing it to everybody, which would therefore mess everybody else up. Now, he doesn't know that. He's probably thinking like, it's not gonna do anything, you know what I mean? Oh, what the crap? Oh, no, thank you.
Smile Dog is the colloquial
That's not a
name
cute
for
dog.
seemingly innocent image file called
Smile
smile.jpg
Dog.
that's been floating around the internet since as early as
Thank you,
1992.
sus.
According to most
What?
sources, because of the image's place in internet folklore, there are thousands of copycats out there, none that have the sinister and deadly power of the original.
That's crazy.
From
So the
scattered
actual
reports
picture
of
has the
image's
powers.
Victims, we do have a vague description. It's a scan of a Polaroid photo featuring a dog that appears to be a Siberian Husky.
Siberian
against
Husky.
a dark background. The dog has a wide, almost human grin with teeth that look like
Why
they
does it have a
simply
human
don't
grin?
belong in the creature's face. Worse yet, in the darkened corner to the left of the dog is a red hand, outstretched towards
Ooh!
the viewer. Many of the people who've actually seen the image have described the hand as beckoning, as though it's calling them into the darkness of the photo. Some viewers have even speculated that this is the hand of the devil himself, calling them down
Oh,
to
well,
the
that makes a lot more
Now,
sense.
Naturally, as an intellectually curious viewer of the infographic show, you'll want to search for the cursed image. And don't worry, we're going to show it to you.
Honestly, I don't want to see the image. Now, I'm
right.
good, dude. No need, bro. I'm not trying to get cursed over here, sleeping
But
and
before we
stuff,
subject
and then
you
like,
to
see,
that,
you know, I'm
you
like,
have
you
to
know,
understand
dreaming
what
about
you're getting
Smile
yourself into
Dog.
here. After all, if the legends are true, it might just change your life. While the stories about smile.jpg have circulated the internet since the internet was a publicly available commodity, the first true, solid, and widely available account of a person's experience with smile.jpg and Smile Dog appeared on 4chan's paranormal board in 2008.
So in
Legends
2008,
creepy
that's when everybody
concepts,
saw it.
such as the malicious shape-shifting goat man, the deadly Daruma-san bath ritual, and an infamous porcelain doll with living, wriggling innards. A frightening tale like that of Smile Dog.
That
would be
is
right at
extremely
home on the
sus.
hub of the strange and paranormal.
Uh-huh.
But the story's haunting details still stick with everyone unlucky enough to read them.
Makes sense.
It began with someone who was just curious, not unlike you. They were a young, aspiring writer in
Random
college,
dude.
searching for
Okay.
interesting stories that might inspire some exciting new fiction. But they stumbled on a horror that was all too real. They put out the call for people with interesting stories on the internet and got plenty of duds. You know, all the stories
And
about
then he
that
finally
teen
got the right
who
one, I'm
got a
guessing.
big one while out fishing, or a kid could swear they saw something moving under their bed. The young writer, identified only as Mr. L in the
Interesting.
account, was ready to throw in the towel and give up when he received
But he
a
didn't give up.
It's from a man named Terrence E. in the summer of 2007. According to Terrence, if Mr. L was
So in
looking for
2007,
scary
he got
stories,
the picture,
his
I'm
wife,
guessing?
Mary had one that would beat out all the rest. Something genuinely terrifying, genuinely paranormal. According to Terrence, Mary had experienced a real encounter with the original smile.jpg image, and nothing has been the same ever since. It
That's
just so
crazy.
happens
So
that
everybody
Terrence
gets
had
affected, I
contacted
guess.
exactly the right person.
What if, like,
as Mr.
millions
L
of
had been
people got affected?
fascinated
How do you
with the
fix it?
concept of Smile Dog ever since he was in the 10th grade back in 2005. He could feel the mystery of the thing drawing him in.
So he always wanted to see it.
What nobody else had discovered before.
That's how the picture lures you in.
She agreed to an informal interview with Mr. L around a month later. The couple were based in Chicago, and Mr. L just happened to be in the area on unrelated business. Everything seemed to be falling into place until Mr. L actually arrived at the home. When he got there, eager to conduct his interview and potentially discover the truth behind all this hearsay, Mary had barricaded herself in her bathroom. She appeared to be having some kind of psychotic break, screaming and sobbing uncontrollably, like
what in the world? So dude finally gets there, and she's having like a breakdown.
In particular,
because
Mary
of the
was
picture.
screaming about some strange nightmare she was experiencing, but it was largely too incoherent to even tell what she was saying.
Oh man,
Parents tried
this
their
thing is
best
no
to
joke.
her for Mr. L's interview, but it didn't do any good. From hours of sitting outside the bathroom and taking notes, he only managed to glean the following story. Mary was a system operator for a small Chicago-based bulletin board system back in 1992, when the internet was still in its relative infancy. One day, a seemingly innocent hyperlink was posted on the board system, and she was one of around 400 to actually click the mysterious link, and was immediately transported to smile.jpg. The other people who were exposed on that day remained anonymous, and their fates
So all of them were exposed by it.
And the legends are anything to go by. Their stories are unlikely to have had happy endings. As Mr. L pressed for further details, Mary just sobbed and cried harder.
So every single person there was affected years ago, and they just doesn't leave their life.
Get from her. Terrence apologized for his wife's strange behavior, and Mr. L thanked him and left. This may have seemed like the end of things for most people, but for Mr. L, this was just the start. He began gathering all the information he could.
Ooh, he's going in, man. Get that detective hat on, bro. Yo, Detective Moose in the crib.
As the famous quote from German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche goes, "He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster."
Be careful. You do not want to become a monster. That's the whole entire trap of the soul.
Mr. L found that information on smile.jpg wasn't available anywhere on major internet information sources like Wikipedia. In fact, he found that if anyone did attempt to add a reference to the cursed file on a Wikipedia page, it would quickly be struck down by editors.
Wow.
He's trying to keep this thing buried. And why?
So everyone's trying to keep it buried. You can't even post it there. The picture itself automatically gets blacklisted.
Great deal more about the supposed effects of viewing the file. The most common effects included, on the mild end, severe anxiety and persistent night terrors, and on the more severe end, hallucinations and temporal lobe epilepsy, with seizures most commonly occurring at night.
So you get seizures at nighttime, and oh, that's messed up, dude.
It was weaponized by trolls and bad actors. The image was often circulated on forums in the early Usenet days.
People actually use that picture to troll people with it.
Website Something Awful back in 2002.
Hacker
the
stuff,
result
dude.
was a number of users developing severe anxiety, nightmares, and epilepsy.
This was actually messing people up.
In the late 90s, the image circulated as all spooky things on the internet did back then, by chain email. The email was
those chain email type of days.
A number of feel-good chain emails that did
back when I was in school.
With the innocuous subject line, "Smile, God loves you." But by the time you've opened the email and its attachment, it's already too late.
Dude, that is so evil. So how does a hacker himself does not see the picture?
Are in dispute. During
Is he invisible to the picture?
Mr. L did notice some other legends with eerie commonalities to the smile.jpg tale he was investigating.
So there's other legends.
Prominent was a story known as the Grinning Man.
Not the Grinning Man, bro.
Not
the Grinning Man.
With an image of, you guessed it, a grinning man. However, after witnessing the image and an accompanying key phrase, the man's life spiraled out of control, with the only way to lift the apparent curse being to pass it on. From the smiling
so he kept passing on the curse.
To the inevitable tragic end. Could the two things be connected? There was no conclusive evidence on the matter, but Mr. L was sure to make a note of it for further study.
So they're trying to figure out, can you combine the two together, and is it the same thing, I guess?
And the thought of that
it's the dog, the curse from the grin.
That many of the people who'd originally claimed to see the thing had fallen off the map, and that
so no one knows about this picture, dude.
The nightmares and the epileptic fits that seemed to naturally accompany an incident with the image. All it took was one look, just one little look.
Dude, that's so creepy.
It felt like a somehow more
imagine seeing that everywhere you go. I'm good. Oh man, I got my goosebumps, yo.
The whole thing was just
ladies and gentlemen, this is freaky, bro. If you get scared, you gotta subscribe and slap the bell.
He felt almost ready to give up when he finally got a massive break in the case. An email from Mary herself explaining the whole situation.
Mary.
Mr. L eagerly opened the correspondence, excited for his next lead, but what he saw shook him to the core. Mary explained that the image of the smile dog had been haunting her in her sleep for years, repeatedly saying one thing: spread the word.
Spread the word.
She experienced symptoms akin to sleep paralysis, being frozen to the bed and unable to do anything but listen to the words of the demonic dog sitting in front of her.
Dude, that's so bad. It's kind of like, yeah, it's
She
like a
told
sleep
Mr. L
paralysis.
that a week after initially seeing Smile.jpg, a floppy disk containing the image was mysteriously mailed to her home. Finally,
Whoa, somebody shipped her the floppy disk with the image. So while she's sleeping, this evil dog is like kind of like just chilling there, saying the same thing over. Spread the word, spread the
Mr. L
word.
had been investigating the smile dog, wanted her to pass the image on and use it to inflict the curse upon others. That would be the only way to stop suffering from the symptoms herself. The nightly seizures
This is like an evil plan
she was
now.
experiencing were so horrific that she was tempted to pass it on to others, and even contemplated potential options: a coworker,
Dude,
a stranger,
what?
or even her husband, Terrence. Mary decided
The
against it
husband!
and instead hid the floppy disk away for years, until she finally found a person she could potentially pass the curse on to: Mr. L himself.
So we
However,
gave it
as
to
she was
Mr.
plotting
L.
to pass on the curse to him and ruin his life, she decided against it at
Good,
the last
good
minute.
job.
Hence her breakdown in the bathroom upon his visit. Realizing it's already too late for her,
this
and
is the
racked
full-out
with guilt over
explanation.
what
That
she
makes a
almost
lot
did,
of
Mary
sense
signed
now.
off the email with a harrowing final message for Mr. L. Stop while
Got it.
you are still
You got it.
Later that month, Mr. L received another email from Terrence telling him that Mary had taken her own life shortly after sending the last email to him. She just couldn't take the suffering anymore. Terrence also informed Mr. L that he'd found and destroyed the floppy disk by setting it on fire, adding that the plastic gave a snake-like hiss as it burnt and shriveled, destroying yet another copy of the cursed image once and for all.
Makes sense.
Mr. L was ready to hang up his hat.
Whenever you destroy an actual copy of the image, I guess the image is cursed automatically. So that's how you know if it's cursed. It makes like that weird smell and like smoke stuff.
Mary had advised him to. He was
This is such a sketchy thing,
It was a
dude.
couple months later, when he'd almost forced the whole nasty affair out of his mind, that he saw a new email appear in his inbox with the subject
Another
line,
new
"Smile."
email.
Without even thinking, he
Don't
clicked
click
on
it!
and by that point, it was already too late.
It's
The
over,
text in
buddy.
The body of the email, littered with spelling and grammatical errors, said,
It's all
"I found your
over.
email address through a mailing list to your profile said you're interested in Smile Dog. I have saw it. It is not as bad as everyone says. I have sent it to you here. Just spreading the word. And the rest is spooky internet history."
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of Smile Dog. So anyways, hit the subscribe button, slap the bell, turn on notifications, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Woo!